So here is something that AI has quietly changed. Problems that used to take us weeks to complete, now we can get done in 1 or 2 days, or maybe like in hours. Every time I try to code for longer periods of time, I've got like this super fried brain feeling. And that's why I have built skill called Deload Brain. I prompt the AI just like normal, and it gives me that summarized plan just with that important stuff and not like nonsense. The nonsense is like put into those black boxes that you can study later. It runs on a rule that I use a lot, and that is 80-20 rule. 80% of the result comes from 20% of the work. And with AI it's even like more extreme. And I got those 80% by understanding the 20% of the code. When you understand just the important stuff, the rest is just a detail and you can ignore it and get back into it later. So let me show you an example. Say I'm in a new code base and I need to touch the API layer, and I point into the Deload Brain and tell it a goal, and this is the map that it hands me back. Everything that is orange is the stuff that I actually learn, the stuff that is in the orange boxes, and the ones that are in the gray, the error handler, the timeout, network versus 401, logout guards. And the skill didn't explain why those things are there on like purpose. Just need to know if the authentication will validate it properly and if it's going to kick me into the login screen. And that is exactly the principle behind this skill, that it is wrapped inside of like the principle, but you don't know how it works, and you are saving that brain points with this. So I read the orange ones and skip the gray ones, and then I can build. So where do I use it? So I use this kind of skill every single day, because when you are like planning a lot, and of course you are planning almost all the time, there is a lot of plans that you need to read, and this is super overwhelming. Before I started using this skill, I was like super tired when I was working and reading the plans all day. Like I've just executed them and hoped that they will work somehow, and I didn't think about them properly. And this is the part that you couldn't do 5 years ago. Back then, when I was coding and I get stuck on a simple detail, I couldn't like go further. But now it's completely different. Now when we have AI in the hands, you can just skip those details and you don't need to understand the code. You just need to understand that black box that I have mentioned previously, like here, that it is there, and then you can just execute, learn those 20% that are important so you can like understand it enough, and then you can like build with confidence. So right now the benefits that I'm like getting is that I understand the key parts and skip the noise, how I mentioned previously. So now getting into flow state for me is much easier, because right now I just need to understand the important stuff that I put into those orange black boxes that I have mentioned previously, like here. And I can ignore the gray ones. So the outcome that I've started seeing after I've implemented this skill into my workflow is that I produce higher quality of work, because I understand the key principles and just black box the other stuff. Then I can work longer because my brain is not overloaded anymore. Right now, I'm not like that I'm not reading code, but I focused mostly on the important stuff that I need when I am like planning that feature, so I can like offload and think about the architecture and overall like how the code works in like higher level. So I don't need to dive into those details, because your brain will otherwise get full and you will not be able to like focus on the right things at the right time. And then I definitely started seeing benefit of learning more. So actionable step for you from this video. So here is like thing that you can try. Next time you are a little bit tired of your coding style, try to use this skill that will put things when you plan it into those black boxes that I have mentioned a lot of time in this video. I know that in your next plan you are gonna feel like huge difference. So this was the problem that I faced with like overloading my brain with agents. I build this and share because I find out that these kind of things like help me in my day-to-day developer life. So if you enjoyed this video, how I said, subscribe, and thank you for watching.